Hello, this is an introductory video to help you get started for my Math 2415 online class in the spring of 2018. So I'm going to walk you through some of the features of D2L and show you where, explain what a lot of the content is and how the course is going to work. Now, of course, there's two ways you can get into D2L. You can go via My Lone Star, or I'm going to show you this path up here where you go through LSC online directly. And let's see, something looks different here. Oh, class login, there we go. Alternate login, and you can get in that way without opening up My Lone Star if you want to. Now, of course, this is my perspective, so let's see what it looks like from your point of view. So I can change the role to look at student. Where it has a little green start button over here. I'll probably change back and forth. I might go back into faculty mode here so I can navigate it a lot easier. The most important things for you are these three right here, content. Now when I make news items, I haven't made one yet, but by the time you see this, there might be an announcement there. Content, grades, and then assessments. Those are the key features. Now I'm going to come over here to content, and we'll walk through the syllabus real quick, and then look around and see what we got here. So now I have this one folder, syllabus, textbook, and other items. That's kind of a miscellaneous sort of kind of dumping ground of information versus more specific things like notes and exam reviews and things like that are in their own folders. So I'm going to click open the syllabus here just to show you that. And you scroll down, and you can obviously download and keep any files that you want from this class as a souvenir if you'd like. But so here's if you want to bring it into full page PDF mode there. So every once in a while somebody will ask me that, how do you get this thing out of the little restricted window there? That's how you do it. Then it just turns into a regular PDF where it's much easier to examine. Let's see what's going on. Zoom in on this a little bit. What do we got here? There we go, Math 2415, Cal 3. My name is Smalley. Who cares? Email, phone's not very good. I prefer electronic communication. Versus telephone, blah, 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 prereq. Okay, learning outcomes, get this. Course materials, calculator, but not one that can do symbolic work like an 89, no, 92 if they even make those anymore, or an Inspire CAS. Anything that can do algebraic stuff, I don't allow. But like an Inspire CX, that isn't CX only without CAS, that would be fine. And of course, any TI-84, even the newer 84 Plus, and there's one called CE or whatever, any of those are fine. Those are okay. I just don't like the ones that can actually do the algebraic stuff. My math lab, not required. However, if you're using a book that's still supported by Pearson, my math lab, I can open up a blank course for you with no assignments or anything, where you can just get access to the book. So I can do that for you. Just send me an email. But it's got to be a book that Pearson still supports. And that kind of ties in right here. Textbook. You can use any textbook that you want. I have a PDF posted, which I'll show you in a minute, in D2L there of the Larson 9th edition calculus book. This is the last semester that we're using Larson 10th. We're changing to another one, but then we'll probably be changing back to another one after that. So I don't think I would buy the one that we officially use now, which is called, well, actually it is the Larson, but that's about to be extinct, Larson 10th. So anyway, I would not worry about our official textbook for this course um, for reasons of it possibly becoming obsolete, you know, and not getting any value for you. I have some lecture videos. I plan to add some more. I'm just mentioning about Khan Academy. CalcChat.com is a website tied in with that Larson book if you're doing some of the homework practice problems, and it's basically a solutions manual with some stuff explained instead of just, you know, looking up the answer in the back of the book. So it may not give you every step, so obviously you can ask me questions, but at least it shows you more than just the answer itself. So that's a free website. I think there's something you can pay for that gives you tutoring. I don't know. But just to do what I just said, completely free. Homework, I've got a practice list of suggested problems for the Larson book. Maybe not some of the sections at the very, very end, but I wouldn't worry about that. Not required. They're just if you want to do some practice just to see how well you feel you're doing with it. You know, not a bad idea. Now, quizzes. We have 8 quizzes. Now, they're called quizzes, but they're more like homework assignments. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Because actually you have the questions provided for you in advance. So it's more like homework. And then what you'll do is you'll work them out in advance, then you'll submit the answers in D2L. So it's not like, you know, most people would interpret the meaning of quiz as, you know, in real time you're taking a quiz. The exams, except for exam 1, are in real time. And I'm mentioning here, so when you enter your answer, sometimes D2L will scramble the answer choices. I hadn't figured out why yet, but it doesn't change the value of the, can't change the numerical values. So just be careful when you're marking your answers. And we'll talk more about that here in a minute. Exam 1 is going to be take home. It's going to be like the quizzes. I'm going to give you that list of problems in advance, and you'll work them out and just submit your answers by the deadline given in D2L. Exam 2, Exam 3, and the final will be taken in some sort of proctored testing environment. I'm doing something a little bit different this semester. I'm allowing you to use a note sheet, and which I've provided a formula list before, which I'll talk about that in a minute. So Exam 2 and Exam 3, you can use one side only of an 8.5 by 11. For the final, you can use writing on both sides. Now the grade, 2 ways to get the grade. I mean, option 1 is better. You don't even want to really, I just put option 2 in there just in case you some reason you did poorly on exam 1 and the quizzes. But it's in your best advantage to do well on these 2 grades because they're like take-home grades. The exam and the quiz 1/6 each, so together they form a fraction of 1/3. And then you would take the greater of an exam 2 or exam 3, and then the final. That's the better way to go. But this other option is a just in case, you know. But most people, you know, some people might, you know, I shouldn't say it's very rare, but your exam 2 and exam 3 is probably not going to be better than the exam 1 and the quiz average. So do not, you know, come in with the attitude, you know, well, I'll just, you know, blow these quizzes off. So you got to do both the quizzes and the exams, or you'll lose a big. Or exam 1, I wouldn't just skip the quizzes. You know, obviously it's 1/6 of the grade, so you can't allow exam 1 to count as one of your exams without the quizzes. But that's options there as a just in case. So let's say you did poorly on the quizzes and you actually did ace exam 2 and exam 3. I would certainly take that into consideration, and we'll use that option. So you automatically get the better of the 2 scenarios. So you don't have to like apply for whichever one you want. So, all right. So here's kind of some info. You can read this syllabus. Here's the video. You're watching it now. Textbook. Blah blah blah. We talked about that. How do we proceed? Yada yada yada. Let you read that yourself. The exams are going to be multiple choice. I adjust the grading scale, which I'll let you know as we go. So. Not for the take-home exam. For the exam 2, 3, and the final, I adjust those. It's sort of a built-in partial credit kind of thing where everybody gets the same adjustment or whatever. So I'm not looking at anyone's papers or anything like that. So So your grade will be actually a little bit higher than your percentage correct. So, but obviously it's nothing to worry about in advance. You just do your best, and then I'll let you know what the formula is going to be. Here are the exam deadlines. You'll see these in D2L. One of the things I'll talk about is the testing center proctored exam stuff. Here, I'll leave all this on the same page. Okay, this is an error. I must have copied this from another course right there. That's a mistake. Exam 1 in this course. I might have copied it from my Cal 1 or Cal 2. Exam 1 in this class is not proctored. So that is an incorrect statement right there. So another good reason to watch this video. I can find any bugs in the syllabus here and let you know. But I got it right up here. I've started allowing ProctorU. I'm not a real big fan of it. I'm still trying to kind of feel it out a little bit, and I've had some people over the winter break need to use it, and I guess that kind of makes sense. But I'm going to go ahead and try it again this semester, see how it goes. Now, ProctorU, you'll have to contact them when I get the test set up. You got to get with them enough in advance because they do charge an extra premium if you wait too long to set up your appointment with them. That'll be your deal, not mine. But I'm not getting involved. So I'll get the exam sent there if you want to use that. But anyway, they're going to be sent to every Lone Star College testing center, and then if you want to use an outside testing center. One thing about ProctorU though is ProctorU, I'm only allowing the exams to be taken on the exam deadline day. I'm a little concerned about security issues on the exam. Maybe when I get more involved with it, I maybe feel a little more comfortable. But when I set them up now, I'm setting them up to be only on those days. But I'll set it up to where it be, you can set up appointment for any time, like 8 in the morning to 10 p.m. at night. So you would set up the appointment for any time that day to take it. Now, if you're using any kind of proctored testing center that I've approved of course, all LSC proctored centers are approved of, but I've used other ones, UT Austin, Sam Houston, Texas A&M. I've used those, but your Uncle Bob's Garage is not likely to be an approved proctor testing center. So anyway, once I get them sent to these testing centers, especially Lone Star, I don't have them sent yet. So what these exam deadlines mean, except for ProctorU, is that you can take once they have been sent to the testing center, you can take them anytime before and up to that deadline date. So if you're using a Lone Star College testing center, this first exam 1 doesn't count. You have to submit it by the 17th. But remember, that one does not apply. Let's look at this one, 3/20. So in fact, I would highly recommend in a long semester you don't wait till the last day to do this, because if something goes wrong, this, that, and the other, and I understand, like when I have these 4-week classes and everything's so compressed that you need as much time as possible to prepare and study. But you really should try to plan it for a day or two in advance. That way, if something goes wrong, you've got another way to get back and do it. Go take it without, missing it. So like and Lone Star College testing centers are perfect because they're walk-in. You don't need an appointment. So if you were going to plan on showing up on the 18th, you were sick, car breaks down, blah, 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 no appointment was required, nothing. You just show back up the next day if you want to, the 19th. So I would strongly recommend not waiting for the last day unless it's ProctorU and it's only that day. All right, so let's see. Okay, I didn't edit the syllabus to get some of this stuff about this winter mini. Obviously, you can ignore that. That doesn't apply to you. And I mentioned about the ProctorU being taken only on that last day. Desire to learn on PQL, we're already. And the rest of this is just a bunch of mumbo jumbo academic calendar. I guess that's useful because that has a drop date and all that kind of stuff. Let's go back to our course here and look at this folder. Let's look around. I don't plan on changing the final this semester. I don't have this for all the other exams. I have reviews, but obviously you don't need this for a while. But this tells you the list of problems that will be on the final exam. It just tells you, it doesn't give you the questions and the answer, or not answers, I mean, answer choices like exam 1 does, but it just sort of tells you the types of problems that are going to be on there. So it kind of helps you toward the end of the semester, and we'll talk about that later. That's not important now. So we have that problem list, and now okay, this is the course video. Here's the PDF for the book that I've had in here, the Larson 9th. Like I said, you can use anything you want. Practice problems, not mandatory. Now this is a formula sheet that I've provided in the past, and the main reason I'm going away from that this semester is because the ProctorU thing is kind of complicated, because I'm not sure that I can get them to acknowledge, they look at what you've got going on, and I'm not sure if they'll be willing to verify the formula sheets and blah, 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 blah. So that's one reason I'm ditching this, but everybody's playing under the same rule. You're going to use the same formula sheet. So this formula sheet, keep this in mind. So this is not provided, but what you can do is a lot of stuff. Okay, that's for exam 1. Kind of scroll down. Now you're, on your personal note sheet, you can write if you want to, but you can certainly cut and paste, electronically kind of cut and paste on a blank page and shrink them down a little bit. Yeah, so obviously you're free to use as many of these as you want to fit on there. I just won't be providing them as a sheet, but you'll still be able to use them, in other words. So whether you like to write or you want to cut and paste or whatever, however you feel comfortable. If you're working when you're studying and working problems and you're working off of this note sheet, maybe copying them this way would be easier for you to, when you're taking the test, to be more familiar, but you do whatever you want. So if someone asks me, are these formulas going to be provided? No, but obviously you're allowed to use any and all of them on your sheet. So I just thought it was easier. ProctorU can verify if you hold up a sheet. They can look and say, see the rules, say loud writing on one sheet. But if I do this, there's too many pages, and then it just, I don't know. I think it was going to be too much of a hassle. Okay, quiz entry. Now, let me go back over, I'll come back to this. Let me go over here, quizzes and exam 1, because they both work the same way. Exam 1 does, and so do the quizzes. So like I said, they're more like homework sets, really, than anything else. So here's quiz 1. There's a PDF file. And, whether you print it or however you want to handle it, that's up to you. So you work all these problems out. You don't go into the actual quiz in D2L until you're done, until you're finished. You don't. So this isn't like a MyMathLab homework where you go in and work a few, save them, come back and work them again. No, this needs to be entered all at once. So there's 10 of these. So you'll come. So let's say you're happy with it. You've got it completed. Well, here's the same thing. Here's exam 1. So it's going to be the same idea where it's exam 1. So they're all 8 of the quizzes with the exam. And over here to assessments. Now, I don't have all the assessments updated yet, but obviously I've got plenty to get you started here. I'll get them going. I've got the first 3 quizzes, and you see I got the exams and the final. The exam 2, exam 3, and the finals have these locked because they're password protected. And these other quizzes, so I have to get those up there for you where they're available, but obviously it's not that urgent. I like to get it done within about a week or 2, obviously, just so, so be there, but I'll get those going. You see, I have the deadline dates. Now, these deadline dates mean you have to open it by that time period. I believe I have them set for 60 minutes or something like that. But keep in mind, you're not actually taking the quiz. If it's 60-minute time limit, that means you've got 60 minutes to take your answers from your PDF file and bubble them on the quiz, which will probably take you 5 minutes. But I just allowed 60 just so you can go real slow. So long as you open it by this time, you're good. So you see you have all these deadline dates. You need to pay attention to these and make sure you open up everything. Obviously you can do it before these. Well, the quizzes are all open, so is exam 1. Obviously the stuff for the exams here, I have to send the information to the testing centers. But no rush because the first exam is not going to be at a testing center. So your first deadline is not until March 20th. But like I said earlier, I wouldn't wait until the deadlines. So what you do actually is you go into so do not go into this quiz until you're ready to submit all your answers. And start quiz. Like I said, watch for scrambling. Be real careful when you're bubbling your answers. It's not going to change the numbers. So you go through here, you look at your PDF file. You look at your PDF file and see which answer you think was right for this problem. Like I say, it may not be the same order, unfortunately, and then you bubble it. I don't know if you have to click save on every one of those. It doesn't hurt. But obviously you're going to submit the whole thing at one time anyway. So go in there. So you pick each of these answers, and then there should be a submit down there when you're done. Save all responses. Yeah, you save them all at once, then go submit, and then you're done. Oh yeah, I can see the timer. So it was 1 hour then. They should all be about 1 hour, I think. Okie doke, so that takes care of that then. So let's see. I guess I'm about to make a big 0 on this quiz. Well, save responses. I guess it won't let me out. I guess I can get out of here. I'll just back out of here. Probably give me some message it doesn't like here. No, okay. So I think I made a 0 on that one, but that's all right. I guess I can give myself whatever grade I want, can I? Okay, so now here's a very common question. I've got a file explaining how to do this in detail because it's maybe not all that logical. Is suppose you take a quiz, it's going to show you your score, and so you made a 90. You're dying to know which one you missed. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait till I believe it's a 24-hour period, just in case there's any electronic screw-ups with D2L. I'll always make it 1 day later. You won't be able to view your quiz until 1 day after the deadline, not when you submit it, after the deadline. So you will have to wait a little bit. But you'll be able to see all the quiz results before the exam dates are due, so you'll be able to view them all. So you won't be able to see them immediately. But the weird thing is, like I said, I have a PDF file explaining this, is let's say you have submitted your quiz. Oh, something with a little red thing here means I messed this up. But we know I messed it up on purpose, so who cares? You might think that you click on this blue quiz thing again. That would have been my instinct, was to click on that. But actually you don't. You click on this down arrow, and you'll click on submissions, drop down thing, submissions. That's how you view it. But like I said, that won't even work until I believe 24 hours after the due date. So like this is due February 4th at 11. You should be able to look at it February 5th at 11. So that, yeah, I know it would have been tempting. A lot of students, my face-to-face classes, they assume you just click on the quiz again because it seems that's what you would do. But no, down arrow, submission, there you go. All right, so that's important information. That'll be true for the quizzes and the other exams. Not the final, though. I don't give out the key to the final. If you want to ever ask about it or talk about it, we can. But so there's where you find the quizzes, PDF files. Okay, that didn't work. Tried to pause that cough, but that didn't do anything. So work that out. Now we've got lecture notes. I've got some, let's see, so each, so you know what, in the Larson book now. So this tells you by section by either groups by exams. That makes it, no doubt. Okay, what sections relate to exam 1? Here you go. There they are. So they're organized by group. So exam 2. So you see all those files are your notes for exam 2. Exam 3. Now there's this stuff right here, vector fields and line integrals. There are a couple of quizzes on that material, and it's on the final, but it's not on any one of the 3 exams. That's why it's not under, exam 1, 2, or 3, but all of that would fall under, potentially what's on the final. Lecture videos. Some of these are, a lot of these are done by a colleague of mine. Have some down there now. I have some old Cal 1 and Cal 2 notes. If you feel free to, if you want to download and keep them or just look at them. Refer back to something, even free Cal. I don't know about these Windows journal format. I wouldn't worry about that. I have my own videos. I plan on adding some more. These are mine. So I'll probably want to add some toward the vector fields and the exam 2. Most of the exam 1 stuff is not too bad, so I'm probably going to focus. That's why I did chapter 14, the multiple integration, because that's a little more challenging. That's why I did videos on that first. So I might work my way up. I don't necessarily will be able to keep up at the very, very beginning of the course, so I wouldn't wait too long there. But like I said, a lot of that stuff's not very difficult anyway. So I'll work to drop. I'll make announcements whenever I put a new one in there. Say, hey, there's a new video and blah blah blah. So right now, all I have are these videos. Okie doke. All right, I've got exam reviews and solutions. And I thought I had video solutions to those. I must be confused with one of my other classes. Okay, well, that might be something I could try to work on adding too, is videos explaining the reviews like I have for my Cal 1 and Cal 2. So you see here's like sample problems for exam 1. The solutions shows out my worked out, me working them out. So that's what each of these are. So you can look at a blank copy and try to work them out, and then you can check against what I've done. Same thing, exam 2, exam 3. Exam 3 I broke out into 2 files. I have an additional for exam 3. I don't know if you need all that or not. Final exam, sample problems. Okay, so I think we've covered everything here. Of course, grades is where you'll check to see your grades. Now, the quizzes will dump in there automatically. The exams will put your raw score in there, but at some point, I'll go back and change it. So that's the one thing you'll have to check for accuracy to make sure I changed your grade properly. But everything else will the quizzes and stuff will be accurate because it's just taking the electronic results and putting them right in the grade book. So we covered the syllabus, covered quizzes and exam 1. And I think let's go back to the home page. So, I had those dates on, I showed you in D2L, but from my point of view, but this is the way you would look at it on the calendar, not because everything wasn't up, but that tells you when things end on there in the calendar. So, all right, so I can't think of anything right now. If I do, I'll come back and edit the video and add something to it. So, best of luck, and I'm only an email away if you need me. Thank you.